learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it down, we gon' get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your Watchlist coming in July 13th, 2020, and the stock market is not going to go crazy. Although it looks like we're coiled up to make a move, we have earnings season beginning, and I want to talk about earnings, what we talked about last week, why we saw a run up. But last week, all you did was see the overall market not really move too much, but you saw crazy moves on stocks like Amazon, Tesla, and surprisingly, not the companies that report this week. So tomorrow, we are going to start to kick off earnings season. It is here, ladies and gentlemen, but you're going to get pretty much the banks and some other stocks like J&J, and not really the big ones just yet, but we had the pre-earnings run up is what I'll call it last week, so this week could be interesting. So I'm expecting big individual names with companies, but I don't think the overall market will go crazy. But since I have jinxed it in the title and it looks like a lot can happen here, anything could happen. So we have a lot to go over. I have pretty much an outline for this week, what to be watching for, a little bit of the earnings plays, the plays that we have in the earnings run-up and game plan that I want to go, and also the plays that we made on Friday. So you guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. And if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. It's the first link in the description, and it is pinned in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. You can post the plays, see the plays, watch the watch list come to life, and yes, you could meet your soulmate like a walking buddy. Do you get it? Okay. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watch list below this. So what you're looking at, get any plays, comments, remixes, anything, post them below and source that info. And today is the watch list. What we need from you is to post a specific option play. This right here is our lovely YouTube community account. So we started this at the beginning of the year. And what we do is we have everybody on the Monday watch list. That's the one you're watching right now. Post a specific option play. We will spend up to $100 on it, or if it's too expensive, we'll get something similar. If it is selected, we do a random comment picker and arbitrarily just buy the trade that is on the random comment picker. So I need you to post a trade in the comments, a specific one, and we're going to get it. Shout out to the last, I guess, month and a week. Owen's play is still killing it for earnings. But this is fun. It's a cool experiment. We are documenting the results, so post that below, and thank you to all the people who have. But, well, here it is right off the bat. Your keys coming into this week, it is still going to be earnings mode, but companies are going to act different. That is the main thing I want to make across here for today and this week, is that you got the pre-earnings. So last week, beginning of last week, I said, get ready at any given random moment. There's a spark and it starts a wildfire before earnings. So you guys will even see this next earnings season. And then all of a sudden, investors in the market starts kind of positioning for earnings. So that's what I was kind of pointing out here. Even last week, although it looked like the market didn't really do anything. And look at this. This is the previous close line. Interesting previous close area we're at between the S&P and TLT. We're going to talk about that. But point is, we didn't really move much, but there was still very, very big earnings moves in. Well, some of these companies started running up into their earnings. They haven't reported yet. Amazon is going to report. Now, you're going to get some companies, JP Morgan, this is going to be one I'm going to look at tomorrow, but they're going to be reporting this week. Wells Fargo, Johnson & Johnson, we're going to get those companies. So the market is pretty much going to be reacting to earnings. However, we are going to get a lot of data across the board this week. So what I'm saying is that sometimes when there's a lot of data and then some of these earlier stage movements, you are coming off of already a little pre-earning spike. So now you can also see the opposite happen. A big point I want to make here is that the earnings run-up sometimes does the opposite. Yes, sometimes companies will even sell off into earnings. You got to factor, some have already moved, or even then, they've already moved a lot. So what I'm trying to say is Amazon, even though we're still a few weeks out from their earnings, you're seeing it have this pre-earnings run-up, but what could start to happen, it could actually sell off the 3 days, 2 days before earnings. I mean, here's JP Morgan. They're going to report this week. Take a look at them. But also you'll see, big name companies are going to move a little bit different than the growth stocks and all that. But watch out for that. But this week, again, we're going to get a lot of data all across the board. You're going to get trade data from a bunch of companies. We're going to get retail sales in the United States. There's a European economic recovery plan that they're going to be talking about. A bunch of different countries, inflation rates, oil, manufacturing, a lot of data. So I wouldn't be surprised to see big pre-market moves, and that could move the market. And then waiting till the earnings, but sometimes we've seen the littlest moves off the biggest news days and vice versa. Again, last week, we didn't really have much news every day, but stocks were making $100, $200 moves on some of these growth stocks coming in earnings. So earnings and kind of the setup into earnings will take a big focus this week. Now, besides earnings, though, this week, there's still other stuff on the table. There's stuff that happened over the weekend. There's still stuff we've been looking at and actually some interesting developments. So one, we have to be looking at the virus response. That is another piece of news besides earnings that could affect us this week. Again, the numbers are going up. Watch the death rates and stuff like that. And again, how the market is pricing that in and responding. But China trade tensions. So I know we've been watching this for a while, but it is getting interesting. I think the the phase 2 trade deal, there was hints at that. Remember Navarro a few weeks ago? I think this is going to come back up, and I don't think it's going to be good. And I think that will really be the ultimate escalation. But there has been some China tensions over the week, and specifically in trade is one thing I'd want to focus on. And then finally, oil. This one is important as well, too. So oil kind of had a little bit of a move this week. Again, it's kind of been holding up pretty stable here. This is overlaid again with Shanghai, but I think there's some news coming out of OPEC and then even just some of the data we saw last week with oil, and we're going to get more oil data. But don't forget the importance of oil with everything and even where we're seeing bonds and all that. So that's what I'm going to be looking at as far as how we're going to play this, how we're going to trade it. The main game plan coming into all of this is setting up for these free earnings plays. So that's why I'm trying to focus on these earnings run-ups, how they're going to play, and the idea is try to get the premiums. Like we said, you're either selling the premium on these earnings run-ups or you're the one buying them. So it's a game of musical chairs. We've been lucky on this last week. We were early, we got it right, but don't get caught being the one buying too much premium into these earnings. So I am going to trim a few positions this week, maybe one of those NVIDIAs we have, and we'll see. But what I'm going to be looking to this week is finding these plays that have earnings, trying to play these earnings run-ups, time them, and then watch out for some of these other factors if they do end up showing up and affecting the market or even shifting the direction. So that is pretty much it. I hope you're ready. And now I have a few plays for you. So I hope you're ready. But let us get into the plays. Right off the bat, I have my plays here again. I am going to watch Banks and Johnson & Johnson. I probably won't play J&J. Going to watch them for earnings. I think I'm going to go for JP Morgan on an earnings run-up. Again, I have to see there in the morning, so please be there if you want to watch it live. I could give you guys a cool little earnings run-up thing because this one's a few days before earnings, so we will see. But the other plays that I have, I'm already in these. I did not take profits, and I have a lot. I saw it in the portfolio, so I'll have to see. But Walmart, I still really like. Again, they're going to have earnings a little bit later in August, but I think are around there. But they're coming off that good news, and they're kind of coming off the bounce. And even with the virus concerns, remember, they were a winner. So I like them. We talked about Disney last week, still entirely. Again, both, I have two like $3,000 positions in both of these. I think they're both up 50%. So I'm holding. So this is why I want to evaluate this week what happens, what these plays and premiums are at, if it does continue, or if the earnings run up reverses, and then I want to see how the premiums hold. But I might look to make these two free, sell half, take the cash that I put in, and then walk away with some pretty decent earnings plays. We'll see. And then there's Tesla. So I still have to go over the plays that we made Friday, but Monday Josh will have to fix Friday Josh's crazy play. Apparently Friday Josh sold a naked Tesla call. Very, very aggressive. But it's statistically pretty decent. So I'm going to be watching them, but Tesla's at an important level, and again, this earnings is going to be very important to their future, and some people are seeing it as a catalyst if they are profitable and are included into the S&P, but it could go crazy. It already broke 1,500, so Tesla will be a fun play. I've been tempted and already played it before, so I'm going to be watching that. And then there's W. I'll go over the play, but this was weird in many ways. We talked about that, some of the controversies that they have going on, and it has been talked about a lot on Twitter and on the internet so far, so it's a weird situation, and also the premium is weird as well, too. We bought that puts. I got a few of them, so watch out for that play. And again, given the nature of kind of the news and controversy, I think it could, until it is really, escalates and Wayfair really gets clapped or in trouble, then we will be able to see. But I think there might be some volatility, or it could move a little bit. And then finally, the final play I want to look out for this week is McDonald's. McDonald's calls, if they get the earnings run up, it's kind of like JP Morgan, some of these, and these will be the best too. If you could find some of these that are going to have earnings run ups, and they've been now selling off while this week some companies ran up. Think about it. That's why I'm saying Amazon may not do good this week. And then some companies like JP Morgan or even like McDonald's, they have been waiting for their moment now, and now it's going to be their turn. So I'm going to be looking at McDonald's calls for that tomorrow. And that is pretty much it for the plays that I'm really going to be focused on tomorrow morning and that I want. And then as far as the ones that we played on Friday, we got those Wayfarers. We got August 21. I only got 3 of them, so I spent $150, $100 puts. Again, idea here. If there is volatility, I think they went up almost 50% on that contract throughout the day. We got those literally 9 minutes in the morning on Friday. So going to hold that. I don't know if Wayfarers moved a lot, so it could move a lot. I don't know if it'll really get in the money, but I'm pretty much viewing this one as an extrinsic value flip. As far as the other account, I guess we're just holding some of the other earnings plays. All I did was do a bunch of crazy credit spreads on Friday, and then here was that Tesla short. We sold a naked call July 17th. So pretty much this week, if Tesla does not reach $2,000 a share, I will make $1,220. If it goes above there, I will be liable to pay anything above $2,000. So this will be exciting. I hope you're excited. We'll see how that plays out. This is a premium, but like I said, we'll see how Tesla plays out. But again, this is a pretty statistically safe play. But again, you never know. And I've blown up this Tastyworks account doing a naked call like this. This is a lot more riskier than a put. So again, this is why we say none of this stuff is a recommendation. We are serious about that. You guys see, these are crazy. You don't know what you're doing, you could be liable. So yes, I've lost $30,000 doing a trade like this, and Tesla is one that will literally blow you out of the water. So pray for me. God bless you. But that's pretty much it as far as everything else. Remember, we still have earnings plays. I sold out of that Amazon. That would have expired this week anyway, so I don't really have an Amazon play. I'm hoping Amazon does that sell-off. Remember those A-nets that we got? We set up, and this was an earnings run-up win-win. As you can see here, we bought September and August calls and puts. It was a strangle, but you could see it. Even though the stock went up, we benefited on the calls. We're up 150%. But then based on the IV, this is what happens, because as people start implying stuff, they get worried about when the stock moves, especially when it just moves $50 in earnings. So even the put prices go up too. So we're up on both of that. I can make these free. And this is what I'm saying. I have a lot of plays yet that we've been riding. It's about riding the wave. But if you don't sell out and get greedy, you could get a bad play. But if you do sell out good, you could get a nice free play that could be good. So again, here's those Walmarts. Got those last week. These have a lot of time, but up 60% on those. So holding those out, and then Disney. And then I'm showing you guys these because these are going to be the ones that I'm considering. I'm up 50%. I like 100% gain to just get my initial investment back and then ride the rest till expiration. But I've been taking profits a little bit early. So we're going to see, again, I'm going to be evaluating the market and even the pricing for options tomorrow. But that is pretty much it as far as that. I will still be watching those in the videos. We still have that play. I like those. Again, like we said with Disney, and those are other plays that we mentioned. And then JP Morgan, I like. Wells Fargo, I have those puts. So I'm thinking, again, you guys have seen me go back and forth with it. Just going to hold those Wells Fargo puts and then probably play JP Morgan calls for earnings in the earnings run up. Watch Beyond. Looks like they might have an earnings sell-off or sell-off into earnings, but watch any of these big growth companies. I like them all. Spotify keeps going. I think there's another set of news. They even had Spotify in Russia a few days. The premiums are just outrageous. So again, I stopped buying premium over here. We've burned a few weeks. I will take a look at them, but we still got shares, so I'm comfortable with what those small amount of shares are doing because they've actually grown a little bit. But watch them. Watch Shopify. I really, really like Shopify. Again, this is almost a 300% move in 100 days, so I think they're going to have a pretty big move for earnings, or at least they can. And again, don't forget, some of these companies can have very, very big earnings moves after earnings. So the continuation and after the market knows what. And I think Shopify is going to be one of those. So even though Shopify is expensive, I've been looking. I think it's going to be a good play. But like I said, too, I might even bank on the after earnings. But watch them. Watch Microsoft. We have that one play on the random account play generator. But I like it. It's good. But I want to also watch tech and how they rotate in and out of this week. And then also Facebook. And then, a good old Snap. I should have got that on there. They're at an interesting spot as well. I think at their IPO price, or a little bit above it. So it's going to get interesting. Watch the earnings and watch them above 30. That will be very, very interesting. But there's that. Watch your boy TLT. Again, he's at an interesting level. He's slightly edging up. This is telling us something, but put it into the context of everything that we're seeing. You have to watch and really wait for it to kind of break out because it's held certain levels, but this is at a danger zone. Again, we saw some of that news last week with the Nigerian currency. I talked about that a little bit. I'm a little worried here, but I think earnings will be the judge. But I said watch for the Grim Reaper, and I do want to start looking for those and setting up for those this week. So remind me about that, and I hope you're ready. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're hydrated, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shined, and the budget's balanced. You need to get prepared for earnings. Have the amounts ready and dust off your shoulders and shoes, baby. Don't bring anything from the last earnings. You're either going to win or lose. You're going to set an amount, and that's okay. Don't be too timid. Don't be too hesitant. Don't be too jumpy. It's better to be late than wrong, but make sure your head is in the game, baby. But the code loves you. I love you. I'm going to see you in the morning. Let's go.